Content disclaimers, views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Okay. Instagram family, I am broadcasting on YouTube. I am broadcasting on Facebook. I'm broadcasting on Twitter also. Yes, yeah. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum, assalami and bacon. No disrespect to the Muslims, but just telling a little jokey joke. Just a little jokey joke. Don't get all up in your pants. Big up to all the brothers and sisters out there, all the melanated people from the highly to the lighter skin to the darker skin. Enough respect to your brother. Your brother is here. And I want to say, let me turn off this music because about to get it in. We're going to be using chalkboard today too. Ooh, Lord, we're using the chalkboard today. Yeah. Where my extra camera at? Okay. We're going to use the chalkboard today. So when I throw on this chalkboard thing, oh yeah, we're going to get it in. Those who want to watch it clearly from Instagram to YouTube, you can come to my YouTube page right now at King Simon Presents Only Quality People. That's King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Now, don't forget to spread love to the channel via paypal.me/King Simon and Cash App $King Simon 3158. Don't forget to spread love. That's the Brooklyn way. So, but even if I remove this is what you'll see. But right now, I'm just going to condense it and bring it to me. All right. Today is October 31st. Those that are celebrating Hallows Eve, those that are into that type of stuff, or Halloween, y'all be careful out in them streets, all right? Y'all be careful out in them streets. If that's what you're celebrating, that's what you do. You got your children out there. You got your children and your babies and your loved ones out there. That's up to you. Back in my day when we did do that, it was a lot of, we had a lot of fun back in the day. We played, we laughed, we did a lot of stuff back in the day when it came to Hallows Eve. And if y'all want to look up the history, the metaphysic history, y'all can go and Google that. This is not that program. Just want to make sure you're clear. This is not that program. And want to remind everybody, today's program is called November's Interesting Connection to 911 and 411. from a numerovational perspective. It's a numerovational perspective from my perspective. All right. Just want to make sure we are clear on that. From my perspective, you need to blow it up. Hey, that's a big one on IG there, baby. But let me reduce that so we can see. So I just want to make sure people are clear on what I am about to reveal from a numerovational perspective, because 911 and 411 is significant mathematics connected to the word November. 911 and 411 are significant numbers connected to the word November. And because numbers can be concealed, but are meant to be revealed, we're here to reveal a perspective so people can stay motivated. Because remember, November is the last Jason month. Those who don't know what the Jason month represents from a metaphysical perspective and a scientific community perspective, because the Jason scientists were those scientists that were there, that was formulated and came together back in the day to, alert society or alert the higher ups about the algorithms of what's to come in the future by paying attention to historical events. Those were the Jason scientists, Jason. We're coming into the last Jason month starting tomorrow. Today is October 31st. So we're right now touching into the last of the Jason months. Jason is July, August, and September, October, and November. Those are called the Jason months. Jason months of sacrifice. Notice it's called the Jason months of sacrifice. Now, among those that practice other sciences, whether it's the negative or low extremes of those sciences, remember that those sacrificial months, usually a lot of children, a lot of women are disappearing, a lot of body organs are being harvested about that time, because we're going into these are the harvesting months also. Remember that. And just recently, quote unquote, person that of a called a rabbi was caught being a part of the whole harvesting of organs and stuff. Just recently in the news, I just seen that yesterday. I just seen that in the news. So sacrifice is not just on a positive level; it's also sacrifice. And people becoming sacrificial lambs on a negative level also. There's people that are being sacrificed every day. But in these months, July, August, September, I dare to say at the end of June, going into July, August, September, October, November, those are what we call the Jason months of sacrifice, where most of us need to learn to sacrifice certain things for either our health, for our mental well-being, whatever it takes, whatever you got to sacrifice, do what you got to do. But this is the last month. The N in Jason represents the last month. So the word Jason, again, the acronym Jason, JASON, or we might say J.A.S.O.N. These are called the Jason months. Put it up on the screen, Jason months. Let me make it red. I want to make it red so y'all can see. So y'all can see what I'm talking about. All right, there's red right there. Okay, let's put it in a real deep red. Okay, so red, Jason month. So November is the last. And of course, we know tomorrow's, this week they're going to be celebrating the Day of the Dead and all that kind of stuff. They're doing all of that. But this is not that show. I'm not doing that. My job as a numerovator is to let you understand November's interesting connection to 911, which we know is usually the number of emergency. And 411, which is usually the number of information. All of us around the world can agree with that, because even when you go to the Caribbean, information number is 114 and the emergency number is 119. Okay, so 911 for emergency and 411 for information. Two simple words. We just want to make it simple. I keep things simple, family. And 411 for information. We put that in the chat, on my board, information. Again, for many years, and let's talk about the many years. 911, and I'm going to touch on the angel number 911 also, but 911, that the emergency number for any police or fire or medical, according to the studies, was formed in 1968 by AT&T. AT&T back in 1968 announced that it would establish the digits 911 as emergency code throughout the United States of America. The code 911 was chosen because it fits the needs of all parties involved. Now in the Caribbean, they got 119 for emergency. If you're in the Caribbean or in certain parts of the Caribbean area, that's what it was. And this was formulated in 1968, because I guess there was a lot of murder and a lot of stuff going on. So they needed a fast digit numbers that people can call, especially when you started getting into, especially when we started getting into the technological push button sequences and push button, because they already had the push button. They just didn't reveal it until later on into 70s, 80s. That's when you start seeing the push button phones, because I remember back in the day, we had the rotary phone. So you try to dial 911 on your rotary phone was different back in those days. And 411 in it's called the directory's assistance, came to be known as information by the early 1980s. That's when it came to be known as the information, but it was really a directory. When we used to call 411, we wanted to direct our call. We wanted to find out about it was like a phone book online. That's what 411 was. It was known as a directory assistance, and it became the information line later on in the 80s. I'm reading from, I Googled it up to check it out, was being used as a slang term. 411 was being used as a slang term just for that, information. Now it says telephone numbers for directory information informal. The 411 information or knowledge, usually about an event or activity and acquired by oral communication. Here's a 411 on tomorrow's party and, planning and all that. When you wanted to find out about doctors or certain places you want to go to, we can dial 411. So those young people that don't know about 411, you can actually dial 411 and you'll find what they'll ask you about, what you want to know, information. It's a directory. 911 has always been, since 1968, emergency. Very important to pay attention. Now, remember the topic today is November's interesting connection to 911 and 411. And your brother got to take it to the board for that one. Your brother got to take it to the board for that. I got to take it to the board for that. That's going to be very important for me. I got to take it to the board. Yes, I got to take it to the board for this. Got to take it to the board because let me get my pointer here. Let's deal with why 911 is a part of. Let me make sure my camera up there is focused. Good. Hold on. There you go. let's and this is and people, if you didn't get a chance to join my class or you didn't come to my webinar, we had a good amount of participants. If you still want to purchase the 3 to 4 hours, actually 4 hours, 3 hours is the actual class, but 4 hours because of the Q&A, you actually get a 4 hour. So you purchase now, it's $55. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. So you might as well, if you purchase now, I will send you purchase through PayPal or you purchase through Cash App, you will get the Applied Numerovation webinar. Learn how to learn how to guide yourself with numbers. The way I do things, because I'm I've been studying for years, I can be a little bit more proficient. But if you want to do it for yourself and your family, take this class or go get this webinar that I did. It's already online. It's a private link. And once you pay for it, it's yours to study. It's yours to study for the rest of your life. And then I give you books along. And remember, get my books because my books also give you recommended reading so you can advance your studies and go beyond. Because like I said, I like to keep things simple. I keep things simple. So if you pay now, I will send you a 3 to 4 hour link. But you got in the PayPal or the Cash App description, please send your email or then text me. But please send your email. Like in the Cash App description, just put your email. You paid the $55. You put your email and I will get back to you and send you the link to this class. It's only $55. Now, and PayPal, the same thing in the description, just say, I paid for it. Here's my email. Please email the link. That's it. But if you want to take my 8-hour course, is $444. Anyone that pays for this course will get a $100 discount for this 8-hour course. Those that are serious. I don't want people that's going to play with it. Leave me out of that if you're going to play with it. If you're not serious about learning how to be a numerovator in your own life, don't bother me. Don't bother me. Don't F with me at all. And I'm real about what I do because I know this is not a theory anymore because I've been studying the patterns, cycles, and sequences for numbers since I was young. And now that I realize it in my family and in time and what's going on and all that, numbers are here to reveal and not conceal. Let me say that again for the people in the back of IG, the people in the back of Facebook, the people in the back of YouTube, and the people in the back of Twitter. Numbers are here to reveal, not conceal. Because they say that the mysteries of God would be revealed in the latter days. Yes, but the latter days of what? If this earth been around for thousands and thousands, the latter days of what? The latter days of different ages. So this is not new age information. This is old age information. That's why in the back of my Numerovation book, I have ancient age. It's an ancient age that we're dealing with because these numbers and their processes and their repetitiveness have been around for eons. That's why NASA sends mathematical codes to the universe because they know the universe is a mathematical equation out there. There's something big there's a mathematical influence that the universe has. That's why they send mathematical communicates or communication out there so they'll see if any intelligent life will pick up on it because that's what intelligent life do, pick up on mathematics. They know that's the language of the universal force. So I'm not in this to play games with people. If you're not serious, don't bother me. If you're not serious, don't bother me. But if you're serious, Lloyd even said that's a very reasonable exchange. And people that says this 8-hour course, my sessions is a half an hour, $100. My sessions is $100 a half an hour. This is an 8-hour course for $444. And I'm not changing the price. I'm going to keep it just like that because I want people to get it. And when they study it and apply it for themselves, they will see that it works. But you have to be willing to put in the work in order for it to benefit you. I'm a real person. And because I'm born under that, connected to that number one frequency, I say what I mean what I say. And I'm directly to the point. Some people may not like it. Some people may have problems with it because they're in their emotions. It's cool. I understand that. But I'm here to serve the greater purpose to be a numerovator. And that's why I do numerovational consultations. I don't do readings. I do numerovation consultations, helping you to at least apply it from a basic perspective and maximize your numbers from a basic perspective. Stop playing with your energies. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with your energies. Numerology, or the study of numbers. Numbers are living symbols. Numbers are living symbols. Let me say it again. Numbers are living symbols that are connected to nature, connected to music, that's connected to different variations of things in life. That's why Pythagoras, in his wisdom, after studying amongst us and the darker hue people, he brought it back and became the father of numbers and the father of that philosophy of his time. So let's get into it. Those who want to book a session, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. If you want to book a serious session, remember, the study of numbers or numerology is applied mathematics. Learn how to apply your numbers and they will guide you. That's my website. That's one of my websites on the bottom, numbersaresimple.com. Those who want to take the class, once again, boom, there it is. I break down a lot of stuff within these 3 hours and how to apply it. Taking people from in the class, I break down their names and show them how to use and how their birthday can work and how you make everything work, how you see things. And do remember to show love to one of my teachers, Lloyd Strayhorn, one of my teachers, because I study everything. One of my teachers that brought me over the hump to be able to create my own books and stuff. He's the one that brought me over the hump. And I got 4 books online. I got 6 books that I got to write. But no promotion is bad promotion. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. Numbers are simple. People's children's health is important. And Numerovation for mental stability. That's the last book so far. And if you're, if you want a reasonable price for the 2-hour introductory class, you can go to udemy.com and punch in Numerovation, holistic Numerovation, or go to my link tree. But I tell people the course that I just did is much more informative than my 2-hour course on Udemy. And of course, this 8-hour course is much more informative than the 2-hour course and the 3-hour course I just did. Much more informative because I'm going through it. Woo! All right. Again, the topic is those that are tuning in all around the world. I don't care which part of the world you are, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. November's interesting connection to 911, the emergency number, and 411, the information. So, why did I choose to do this? This is my Ethiopian stick family. Why did I choose to produce this? Because we're coming into November tomorrow. And as much as people say that November, because now after the Gregorian calendar was officially put as the official calendar, after the Justine calendar and after all of the calendars, November is considered what we call the 11th month. That's why I put it over here. It's considered the 11th month, November. Of course, we know in language, the word November, nueve, is all that, and dealing with November, that is the 9. That's number 9. So in the original language or the tongue of the word November, that is the 9th month, but we're calling it the 11th month. That's why it's connected to 9/11. Because the old connotative meaning, or the deeper connotative and denotative meaning of this would be the denotative. I think this would be the connotative if I'm not mixing. I don't want to mix it up. But 9, because of the original etymon of the word, this is the 9th month. That's why Dr. B. Sirius in the God Power spoke about October being the 8th month and not the 10th month. Because in actuality, in the true meaning and the etymon or the etymology of the word, November or October is the 8th month. November isn't. It's after Julius and Augustus added their months. We know what they did. If you really study, you know what Julius and Augustus did, adding their names. July, August. Y'all know the history if y'all are studying. So 9 in numerology, in the study of numbers, is the number of higher level thinking, evolution, higher evolving, because 9 is the last single digit number on the single digit chart. 9, anytime 9 pops up in your chart, it's telling you to go high and finish what you start, or finish or complete something before the next cycle of 10, 11, and all that stuff start to come in. That's what it's from a simple perspective. So 9 is revered by the Chaldeans because anytime 9 showed up, 9 represented either destruction or universal destruction or universal love, because everything has a duality. So November being the original 9th month, because of the nueve, if you're going back to the Latin and Spanish, nueve, then it's diez, deci, diez, December. So December is actually the 10th month, not the 12th month. But because we're all resonating with the Gregorian calendar and all the vibration is going towards it, we have now called it the 11th month, November. And 11 is a very significant number, as many of you know, if you've studied, because 11 is a portal. But 9 is also an intuitive portal alongside 11. 9 in certain systems of numerology is an intuitive fire portal. 11 is a master number of the unseen and the seen. Hope y'all getting what I'm saying here. Because so this month, November, represents 2 different portals. One that deals with assertiveness and fire and can be dealing with war or passion, but it also deals with the master number 11 on the other side, because everybody agrees that it's the 11th month. And we're in a Scorpion energy, which is also connected to the number 9. Do y'all get it? We're in a Scorpion energy, which is also connected to the number 9. Which deals with passion and fiery and energy, because Aries and Scorpio is connected to the number 9 according to the study of numerology in connection to astronumerology, which Lloyd is an absolute master at that. You know, I got to big up one of my teachers, man. That's my brother. So 9/11 is an emergency alerting system and alerting number for all of us in the month of November, because again, this is the last of the Jason months. Last of the Jason months. Remember, the Jason months are the months of sacrifice. And on a negative level, there has been a lot of sacrifices of organ donating, children disappearing, and all that. Although it happens throughout the whole year, family, majority of time during these holiday seasons and the things that are coming up towards the holiday seasons like Christmas and Thanksgiving, you find a lot of people disappearing, a lot of things, a lot more at higher levels. A lot of more emotional things are going on because, you know, maybe people have lost families during the Jason month, lost mothers, fathers during the holiday. So they think about their family in the holiday season, the summer seasons, the fall, and all that kind of stuff. They think about family. Jason, July, August, September, October, November. If those that don't know what the Jason months are, those are usually from that time we get into the summer season. There's a lot of sacrificial stuff because the summer represents the burning. So you're sacrificing, you're sweating and releasing things. Now you're coming into the fall season where things start getting ready to go into the darker hibernating seasons. Then we get into the winter where everything is like shut down. Jason is all about that. It's all a part of that energy. So once how do we apply the numerovation of the 911 and the 411 energy? Now, I didn't even explain the 411 in this because here we go. When I added up in the Pythagorean system, sorry, that's not good. That's in the Pythagorean system, when I added up the name November in the Pythagorean system, it added up to the number 40. 4 plus 0 equals 4. When I added the word November in the Chaldean system, this is happening this morning around 4 o'clock in the morning. It's all coming in my head. Although I know I did this before, but I don't think I ever broke it down and came online to break it down. When you add November up, it adds up to 38, which is 11. That's where I get the 411. That's why I get the 411. So if this is an emergency broadcast number or emergency alert number, and this is an information number, so it's letting us know in this month of November to be on alert and to be informed, to be on alert and to be informed. Pay attention to all levels of emergencies. Pay attention to all levels of emergency, not just what's going on in the world, but also what's going on in your life, what's going on with your body, what's going on with your health. Remember, myself and Lloyd Strayhorn talk about the sneak peek months. The sneak peek months, according to us, is the end of September going into October, November, December. And these are the sneak peek months to remind you of what's to come in the next year that's come. So it's just the indication for everyone on what's to come for next year, 2024. And because 20 and 24 in numerology adds up to a number 8, but people forgot something. We know that 2024, I think y'all can see this, 2024 adds up to number 8, and I spoke about this recently. The erected infinity symbol, although it's not really the infinity symbol per se, but because it looks similar to the infinity symbol, we call it that, the erected infinity symbol. But when you add 20 plus 24 equals 44. So next year is also the year of the 44. Big up to my brother Blue Pill that always talks about the 44. 20 plus 24 equals 44. And when 8 and 44 shows up in anybody's chart, because you could have a double T in your name, you could have double M's in your name, you can have double D's in your name, you can have double V's in your name, because those are the letters that are equated to the 4 and the 4. So when you have those doubling numbers like T, double T, in the Chaldean system, it would be 44. In the Pythagorean system, it would be 22. So we're not going to get into that. I did speak about that with Mama Ella. But anytime the 44 shows up, this is these are my mental numbers. 4 and 8 are one of my mental numbers. 2 are my mental numbers. So anytime 44 show up, this is about dedication. How much are we willing to dedicate ourselves to our legacy, to our ancestry, to our harmonious balance, to avoid any karmic, because 8 is also known as a karmic number connected to Saturn. You got 44 here that equals an 8, but 4 is connected to Uranus, where it comes with the rebel energy, the weird, the unusual energy. So we got to be very careful of how we communicate with each other, communicate with our bodies, communicate with everything around us, and communicate with ourselves in a 44-year or a number 8 year. Oh, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. That's why Dr. Africa told us to look at things from a holistic perspective. It's a holistic perspective we're looking at this from. We're broadcasting on IG also. We're broadcasting on IG, Twitter. So if November is an alert emergency number, what's the emergency? What is the emergency? Every time November comes, what's the emergency? Because remember, November is the second month to the last month before we get to that 10th month, which, in certain system of numerology, the number 10 represents a new cycle. So December is going to be really the new cycle before even January. December represents the new cycle, but it's also because it's a number 12 month. 12 is one of those numbers that, according to Gregorian calendar, because it's known as a 12th month, you got to remember 12 is also another sacrificial month, a sacrificial number that silenced the voice if they don't open up, if the person the person born in that month don't open up and show and speak up in a timely fashion. It's one of those victim numbers, because remember the number 12 in tarot is called what we call the hangman, where they call it the victim number. Victimization, watch out for other people's intrigues and victims of other people's bullcrap. So if that's the case, and November, which is the revealing numbers, because November is the 11th number. Number 11 is the number of revelation. Things being revealed to everybody that's paying attention to the frequency. But anything that's revealed, the 9 in November, the original number of the original meaning of November, which is the 9th, that means that is the assertive, active number that's telling you that whatever is revealed to you in this month, you must put it to work. I'm talking about from a numerovational perspective. I'm here to motivate people. So if November is coming in tomorrow's going to be a friend of mine's, Etoy's birthday, another friend of mine's, a matter of fact, one of the top numerologists from back in the 1800s, his birthday is going to be tomorrow also. And that's this guy's birthday here, Kiro, one of the best numerologists of his time. He was consulting dukes and queens of his time. This guy, he is the one that predicted his death to the very day, time, and hour. This guy right here. I don't want to do that. I'm all right with that. That's why when people ask me about predicting people's death and all that stuff when they're going to die, I don't do that. But he did that for some great queens. He did that for some great dukes of the time, for some great success. He have had success in doing that. And he also lived in Hollywood. So he kept it up at the celebrity status, but he was consulting. He was breaking down Victoria, all of that, Queen Victoria of his time. His birthday is tomorrow, November the 1st. Powerful. His name is Kiro. Let me show the book again, just in case you want. Lloyd studied this guy too. Lloyd is the one that introduced me to this guy, Kiro, born November 1st. I got it right here. Where is it at? Born November 1st. I believe, it's in the back. I put it in the back. Yeah, born November 1st, 1866, died October 8th in his critical cycle, which 8 is one of his challenge numbers. He died in his challenge number in his critical cycle before his birthday on October 8, 1936. He predicted his own death to the very day and the damn hour. This guy. Now, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't want to get into it. I know I can go down that road if I wanted to. Nah, I'd rather motivate y'all to understand so you can live life. Live your life. Live your life. When you die, that's your business. When you transition from here, that's your business. He predicted it down to the science. He was very good. Not only in numerology, he was also good at astrology, and he was good at palmistry, palm reading. Very good. This guy that I just showed you, Kiro. So, moving right along. So, if November is connected to 9/11 and also 411, what's the information you should be alerted on? What should you be alerted? Now, 9 plus 1 equals 11. 4 plus 1 equals 6. So if that's the case, 11 is a reminder for the month of November that's coming up, that you have to start recognizing the seen and the unseen and bring balance between the two. I'm talking to all of you out there. I don't care what birthday you're born under. When you're going into the month of November, this is a good month to pay close attention to your thoughts, pay close attention to your dreams, pay close attention to your walking thoughts, your walking dreams, and be willing to write them down. And because it adds up to 4, 4 is a number of structure, discipline, and organization, and 11 is the number of secrets being revealed, and 11 is a portal, a doorway between the seen and the unseen, raising your vibration. But November adds up to 38 also. Let's go back to that. I like to look at those compound numbers for a reason. November adds up to 38. As a matter of fact, let me go to this guy's book. Let's see what he says about the number 38. Let's see what he says about the number 38. Because he was on his game back in the day. I want to see what he had. My spirit told me to go to his book on 38. 38 has the same meaning as 29. Okay, great. Which equals 11. But I'm going to break it down for the different. Now it says November in the Chaldean system adds up to 38, and it's equivalent to the number 29 in his book. That's what he says. He says, this number indicates uncertainties, treachery, deception of others. It foreshadows trials, tribulation, unexpected dangers, unreliable friends, grief, and deception caused by members of the opposite sex. It gives grave warning if it comes out in anything concerning future events. That sounds like a real negative thing, but there's positive to it. That's why sometimes people get caught up in just that and don't realize that there's a positive, there's a duality to all sides of that. And because 38 adds up to the number 11, as you can see, we got 2 screens up. As you can see right here, 38 adds up to a number 11. 11 in his book, he talks about the number 11. And I can see why people can run away from numerology, because if you're reading somebody like his book and you start looking at the compound numbers, then you'll see a lot of the negative of these highly technical numbers that have been handed down from generation to generation through tarot and all of that. So when you go to number 11, it says this is an ominous number to the occultists. It gives warning of hidden danger, trials, treachery from others. It is a symbol of the clenched hand and a lion's muzzle, and of a person who will have great difficulties to contend with, to contend against. That's all it says. That's all he says about the number 11 as far as in this segment of the book. But when you start going into his book, he does break down the both sides of number 11, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but I want people to understand that when you start seeing numbers like 38 and 11 or 29, there's always a higher level of negative things that can happen if you don't pay attention to your intuition, because 11 is an intuitive number. So anytime I see 411, I can look at the 4, but I look at the 11 also, because they're together. If I see 911, I look at the 9, but I look at the 11 also, and then I will add it up and break it down. And because 9 plus 1 plus 2 equals 11, and then it breaks down to the number 2, I got to look at the sensitivity of it. I got to look at all of the numbers. That's how you look at things from a holistic perspective. So if 4 plus 1 equals 6, then I got to look at that. So 6 is also, the 411 is also telling you to bring balance to your life. Bring harmony, truth, justice, reciprocity to your life, and forgiveness. So you can leave this year in forgiving people, letting go of a lot of the madness, so you can grow to be at your highest. If you're paying attention to November and being a 9th and the 11th month simultaneously, and paying attention to November being the 4 and the number 11 simultaneously, because of 2 different systems. But that's just me. I'm a numerovator. I'm going to look at the numbers deeply. Some of you might not look that deep. But the deeper meaning of the number 11 from other perspective numerologists, let me tell you what the number 38, which is 11, also says from this book. And I like to show people's books. You know, I'm like Bobby Hemmett and Panic and Phil Valentine. I'll show you books. I have to show you some books. The number 11 in this lady's book, Ruth Drea, she says, and this book was written in 1991. She says the number 11, the key words for the number 11 is spiritual teachers, visionaries, peacemakers, whose desire is to illuminate the world with its vision of harmony and cooperation. She says the guardian angel that's connected to the number 11 is Uriel. So those that are into guardian angels or into the Hebraic science of angels or the ancient systems of angels, the guardian angels connected to the number 11 is Uriel. Uriel is the guardian angel. The musical note connected to the number 11, according to her, is the note A. The color that is connected to the number 11 is violet, yellow, black, white, apricot, and the gold from and gemstones are garnet and sapphire. Flowers are violet and camellia. Those are the flowers. Violet and camellias are the flowers for the number 11. So y'all can rewind this back if you want. You can rewind this back and you can get all of that from what I just said. But going to the 44 now, I want to go to the year that we're going in because we're going into an 8 personal year, 8 universal year, but it also adds up to the 44. Let me express what she says about the number 44 in her book. She says, master balancer. Number 44 is the master balancer. It says 44 is the dedicated workers establishing a balanced world built on a solid foundation of the laws of God. This is what she says the number 44-8 represents. A dedicated worker. So in a number 2024 year, all of us are supposed to be dedicated to our work, establishing balance and a solid foundation of the inner you so you can maximize the outer you. So, and if 44 equals an 8 and 8 is known as a legacy leaving numbers, all of us next year should strive to at least develop or strive to have a plan to leave a legacy for whatever children or family or grandchildren we might have. Starting now this year, because remember, the sneak peek months started at the end of September, October, November, December. So we're in the sneak peek months prepping you for the next year, according to cycles, sciences, the cycle. Remember, numerology is not a psychic thing. Although people have used it as a predictive methodology, it really deals with the connection to patterns, cycles, and sequences that can be repeatable over time, that can be observable over time, that is measurable over time. So we are able to teach about it in this time because we understand its cycles, patterns, and sequences connected to not only the human existence, but also connected to the universe, connected to the plant life, connected to animal life, because all of it has a mathematical counting system or numerical counting system connected to it. Like I said, family, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And that's why I had a very good class recently. And like I said, if you want to purchase the recording, you get the whole 3 to 4 hours because I did a Q&A. And the third hour, all the way to the fourth hour, I did a Q&A. If y'all want to purchase it, it's only $55. And like it says on there, learn how to guide yourself. I want everyone out there to learn how to be an ascended master for themselves. That's why I call it Ascended Masters Class. I don't just call it Master Class. I don't consider myself a master in that vein. I consider myself continually being an ascended master because I'm striving to be my best and my highest. After I'm gone from this planet, y'all can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me a cab or an Uber, but call me whatever you want. But after I've left this planet, I've ascended, I feel, because masters don't know everything. They're only a master of their craft. And they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the teachers are ready, the master will appear. But when the master is ready, he becomes one with God. When I'm ready, I will become one with the Creator. And that's what my full mastery will be, and yours too. Student is ready, the teacher appears. When the teacher is ready, the master appears. And when the master is ready, he become one with God. That means he become God, because all of us are gods having a human experience. All of us are gods having an experience. Some of us are just fallen from grace. So, what I want everybody to take from this broadcast called November's Interesting Connection to 911 and 411. From a numerovational perspective, it's my perspective. Somebody else might come up with something else from their perspective, and you got to respect different perspectives. Like I've said before, when you look at the hand like this, you see one perspective. Until the hand starts to turn, now you see other perspective. And every perspective is correct, no matter how it's coming, no matter who it comes from. It's their perspective. If you resonate with the perspective, put the number 1 in the chat. If you resonate with my perspective, put the number 1 in the chat. Because it's my perspective. I was up early in the morning writing in my mind. I couldn't even go to sleep. I was supposed to have a dental appointment today. And I said, you know what? Let me look at the numbers of my dental appointment. And I seen that I was in my 6th personal day. And I said, nope, I can't go to the dentist. Not today. Because 6 is one of my challenge numbers. So I know I would, if I went to that dentist appointment, I would have been some kind of challenge would have erected, only because I went there on my challenge day. See, that's what numbers alert you to do, to be able to navigate so you could be aligned with what you have. It's not a deep emergency that I have to work on my tooth, because I did a lot of tooth work in the back of my tooth early this year. It's just one thing I didn't take care of when the doctor told me to go take care of it, but I know I'm going to have to work on it more likely in November. So I'm going to have to probably take a week off in November and go get this tooth fixed in the back, my molar tooth. But once I read those numbers, I emailed them and I called them and said I have to postpone it, because again, you don't want to do things in your challenge under your challenge numbers. Also, October is one of my challenge months. See, when you do a session with me, I give you your challenge months, your power months. I give you your challenge numbers, your challenge months. I give you your power days and your power months. I give you all of that in your session. That usually at the end of the sessions, that's what I give it to you. But it's important to know that November is going to be one of my power months, especially because it's connected to the number 9 and connected to the number 11. So I'm glad that I'm going to do it in November. So it helps me to navigate better and realize and recognize when I should make certain move. Now, I'm not one of those people like the movie 23, like 23 days. I'm not one of those people. I'm not fanatical. I'm realized that numerology or numerovation or these mathematics can guide me to help me be my best me. So when I know I have to make serious moves, I don't consult the numbers every day. I'm honest with you. I don't consult it every day. I'm not that dude. But when I know I got to make serious moves, then I consult it and then add everything up and see what happens and see if it all pans out mathematically. And if it pans out mathematically, boom, I'm doing it. And sure enough, every time I've done it mathematically, sure enough, like this year was my number 1 year. When you add my month, the month that I'm born, the day that I'm born, and the year that I'm in, it's my number 1 year. And sure enough, brand new series came out. Brand new series on 4-bit knowledge, and 4 is one of my power numbers. 1 is one of my power numbers. But in the number 1 year, I also had my speech changed a little bit, because I had tooth surgery on the back of my tooth. So they had to remove certain things and add in the back of my tooth. Now, all this is real, but back here, I got caps. But but that's a number 1 frequency. Number 1 could be positive and negative, or surgical, or removal of things in a number 1 cycle also, because that's a new cycle for you. So new things can happen, both what you might consider high or low energy. That's how the cycles work. Everything has its duality. So even if I give you your power numbers in a session, when you do a numerovational session with me, even when I give you your power numbers, guess what? Even when I give you your power numbers, in your power numbers, they all numbers. I don't call them lucky numbers because all numbers have their duality. Your power numbers, something uneasy or unbalanced or low frequency can happen in your power numbers, but they won't last as long as they probably will under your challenge numbers. Me, Lloyd teaches it too. Myself and Lloyd teach that. But I go in from my own perspective, and Lloyd stay where he is from his perspective. So you got to respect the perspective. Again, looking at the hand, and now the different perspective of the hand. Perspective. Respect the perspective. Big up to everybody that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, that's on IG. Man, somebody said they love their session. Hey, what's up? Hey, thank you. Thank you. Gladys, what's up? Regina, what's up? What's up? What's up? Papi, what's up? Mira, ¿qué pasa? All right, people know that. People say facts. And I don't want you to claim it as facts. I want you to study it yourself, Jamie. I don't want anybody to say, oh, it's factual. I want to make sure that it's not just factual, but there's evidence behind it. There's evidence, because that's why I don't call what I do or what numerology, the study of numbers, a theory anymore. It's become a theorem. I've seen the patterns of celebrities and my family and friends, and I've seen the patterns. I'm watching it in real time with some of these people that drop out and die and all that. I see the cycles. It's deep. Wow, I see 911 for so long. What does it mean to you? It means you need to do constant spiritual work with yourself and be willing to see it till its completion. When you see 911 all the time, those are things. When you add it up, it breaks down to 11, which is a vortex of recognizing or finding balance. Or anytime you see 911 all the time, remember, it's about the equilibrium, finding balance between your spiritual work and your physical work, because if you bring the balance together, then you will be more successful. If you see 411 all the time, because 4 deals with structure and discipline, and then the 11 deals with the spiritual side, that means you have to be more disciplined with your spirituality, and then that will bring balance, because 4 + 1 + 1 = 6. There's the story. It brings balance, it brings harmony, it brings unity. That's how you understand your story. I mean, I get in when I start doing sessions with you, but that's just how it is. But like I said, family, my brothers and sisters, white, black, indifferent, I don't care what you are, but especially our melanated people, the ones that have the hue. I want y'all to learn this. That's why they're at reasonable prices. You know how many people said I could charge more and $100 and $299 and all get $500. The only one that's you're gonna pay $499 is $444 is this one, because it's 8 hours of my time and sweat that I put into it. 8 hours of my time and sweat. But if you want to learn it quick, fast, in a hurry, hey, this is the 3-hour one. 3 hour, $55. 3 hours. So Cash App, PayPal is right there on the bottom. So if you want to, as soon as you send it to me, guess what? As soon as you send it to me and put an email in it, guess what? I'm going to send you the link, and it'll be your link to watch forever and ever and ever. But remember, before I close out, before I close out, because I got things to do. Before I close out, remember, family, we take it down a notch. Remember, I want everybody to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Relax. I had to take a deep breath because I'm very compassionate about when I teach these numbers. Very compassionate. You know, where my teacher is smooth with it. You know, Lloyd, one of my teachers, Lloyd Strayhorn, is very smooth with it. When you hear his voice, his tone he's radio. He's radio trained. I'm radio trained, but I'm radio hype. I'm like, me and Funkmaster Flex is right there. Two Suburbans and a hearse. I'm hype. I'm the hype. He's a Leo too. Funkmaster Flex is born August the 5th. I'm hype. I'm born February the 1st, where the 1 is also a fire number. Lloyd is born the 16th, where that 16 is a calming energy. They're really low key. But when Lloyd teaches, it's a mellow elder style. That's him. If you listen to him on radio for the last 40 years, he sounds the same way, Lloyd. Unless you catch him in a class when he's teaching. But on radio, he's mellow. I've been doing radio for a certain amount of years, and I'm a hype man on radio. That's why they call me Simon Templar, the live wire. Because I was a live wire on radio. Never got short-circuited. Because my energy comes from the universe. And the energy is within all of us. That's why I used to say I run on solar and lunar energy. That's what I used to say on radio. My name is Simon Templar, the live wire. I run on solar and lunar energy. Purchase a bottle and get the vibes. The only way you can purchase the bottle of sunlight and moonlight is to go sit out in it. And that's what I used to do. Sit out. I used to be in the sun. And then at the club, when I'm going to the club night, I used to ride my bike to the club while the moon is out. I'm looking at the moon and I'm riding my bike to the club because I wanted to discipline myself from being a womanizer, so I didn't want to carry women home. Now, did I ride my bike to certain women's house back in the day? Of course I did. That was me. I was doing my thing. And then I rode my backside home after I finished my work. Oh man, I know people probably, what the heck? This is crazy. Yes, I was that dude. I learned it from my father, my cousins. They was in the club life. I learned that. But going back to the point, I'm very passionate about what I do. Very passionate. So in closing, because we're going into November tomorrow, and it is a 911, from my perspective, it is a 911 emergency alert number and a 411 emergency alert number. The emergency is not something that's negative, but remember, the root word of emergency is emerge. Emerge yourself in the month of November into higher spiritual guidance. I don't care if you're practicing tantric spirituality. I don't care if you practice religious spirituality. I don't care if you're practicing Islamic spirituality. I don't care if you're practicing Ifa or Akan. Emergency. Emerge yourself. Allow yourself to emerge, because that's the root word of emergency. Allow yourself to immerse yourself into a lot of good information that's going to take you and make sure you're monitoring your mind, because whatever they're doing around the world or across the pond or in those places that war is happening, we're going to have to fortify our mind and our spirit and our heart, and everything has to become one. Everything has to work together. So I want you to merge and immerse yourself into it. 911 only adds up to the 11. And I told you what 11 means. Treachery, deception, all that kind of stuff. And they're doing it through the media. But don't let the media, which is ruled by the number 4, which is one of my mental health numbers in my book, Numerovational for Mental Stability, that's one of the main mental health numbers, 4. And media, the word media is ruled by the number 4, media and technology. So they're using technology to bring our vibration down. And if you don't have to watch the news, don't watch the news, but do be prepared. Have your waters prepared. Know how to filter your water. Know how to clean your water just in case. But always still do your constant meditation. Do your constant higher level vibration. Prepare, but also be prayed up and meditated up. And be in nature as much as you can. If you're in the cities, go to the parks. If you're in New York, go to Central Park, go to Prospect Park and enjoy nature. If you got a good backyard, enjoy. Because the 411 represents information. And it's important that you listen to the information within you and in nature and around you, and take what you need to make yourself emerge into your inner development and your inner growth. Because at the end of the day, 411 adds up to the number 6, which is supposed to be, that represents ma'at, which means balance, harmony, truth, justice, reciprocity, forgiveness, family. So that is why I decided to come on, because I could not sleep last night. And I know more downloads and more uploads is going to come to me throughout this whole day. That's why I could not go to no dentist appointment and then have to be drugged up, and I could not do that today. That just was not my spirit. I'll wait to the middle of November. A whole week. I'm going to take off a whole week. I'm going to mark that off, the whole week. I got to mark that off, that whole week. More likely it's either the week of the 13th all the way to the 18th, or the week of the 20th all the way to the 24th. So I'm going to take off the whole week, because I know that they're celebrating their quote unquote Thanksgiving. And I probably be juicing more, especially if my teeth hurt, I'll probably be juicing, but I know I had to deliver this message from a numerovational point of view. I don't know who else is going to come out with it, what they're going to say about it. But as I've seen, November, the original number is 9 of November. That's the 9th month. And it's now the 11th month. But 9/11 is the definitive numbers that is showing to me when I woke up, when I was up this morning between 3 and 4 o'clock, because that's where a lot of your when things are quiet, a lot of the downloads come at that time. And then when I added up this number, the 4 and 0 itself, I didn't even break down the 4 and 0. The 4 and 0, anytime you have 0 behind any number, that deals with extremity, extreme, and also deals with a protection. So if 4 is the number of structure and building and discipline and order, that means you need to protect your structure, building, and order in your mind, mentally, physically, and spiritually in a month like November, because they're going to try to lower your frequency in the month of November even more with what's going on. You're going to see something even bigger in the month of November in what's going on, and they're going to throw it all in the news, because the media rules. The number 4 rules media. 11 deals with deception. So they're trying to deceive people also. There's a deception. But if we go to 3 and 8, communication is have to be clear with each other. Being jovial and happy. Watch comedy shows before you go to bed. Listen to older music that may have stimulated love and passion and higher levels of understanding. Ain't no stopping us now. Love is a message. That's where the 8 comes in. But also, it's an ancestral number that says, pay attention to the past so you'll know where you're going in the future. That's Sankofa. Pay attention to the past so you know where you're going in the future. And in our past, we've always been prepared for what might come, because our ancestors understood cycles. Just because a preacher or a minister predicts destruction here and there, those are cycles that come around all the time. Jamaica just got hit. Jamaica just got hit by a 5.4 earthquake in Jamaica yesterday. Jamaica, my father and mother's land of their birth. I'm born here in America. My father and mother's land of their birth just got hit by a magnitude 5.4 earthquake in Jamaica. Jamaica is ruled by the number 3 and the number 1 in the system of numerology. 3 and the number 1. And 3 plus 8, because we're in the sneak peek months. Sneak peek months, 3 plus 8 equals the number 11 again in the Chaldean system. That 3 plus 8 comes up. It's time for, there's a doorway opening up for Jamaica to get more spiritual, because there's a lot of crap going on in Jamaica right now. I'm talking to you, Jamaican, my family out there. Talking to all of you out there. The family in our Spanish town in all the 13 parishes. The foolishness has to stop. And the bowels of earth starts to rumble in certain places because it's giving you a reminder. And because we're in the sneak peek months and Jamaica is ruled by the number 3 in numerology, when I add it all up, it breaks down to the number 3 in numerology. 3 plus the 8 that we're coming into, and then you're in the sneak peek month, represents that spirituality that you got to get back on. You got to start getting back into your spiritual work. Go back to your Orbia work or your original work that was before they conquered you. Back into the old soul, the old energy. Back into our magic, our African sciences that they took away from us through colonialism and other ways. So Jamaica got hit by a 5.4. 5.4 equals 9. 9 is a destructive number. That's why the Chaldeans, that's why the Chaldeans, I'm going to show, that's why the Chaldeans didn't have 9 in their chart. They revered the number 9. They showed respect to the number 9 because anytime 9 shows up in any form, any fashion, 9 represents either destruction or a higher level of love. There's a duality. Chaldean, the older system for melanated people, does not have a number 9 in its chart. Pythagorean knew that they had a number 9, but they respected the number 9. That's why they didn't put it in their chart, and they have it all mixed up. They have the wording and the numbers and everything, all the letters mixed up. That's what makes it a mystical system, because they found it in antiquity how to comprise this type of chart so you can get a deeper and mystical meaning. So if 9 is not there, 9 is reminding you to be at your highest level of love, highest love frequency, or you will go down the path of destruction. That's what 9 reminds us to do. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. David Levy would say that. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. So all you Rasta, all you Christian out there, all you Muslim in Jamaica, get back to your spiritual nuances right now. Because remember, in your quote unquote scriptures, it said the islands would be turned over. I remember that. But it doesn't have to be turned over in our time. It can be turned over, but it's being turned over not just by earthquakes and all. It's being turned over by people that are promoting illicit madness on those islands and throughout the world. Y'all have an infiltrator. Y'all have an enemy infiltrating your infrastructure, your politicians, your politicians. Y'all have an enemy out there. Y'all have an enemy in every country, every part of the world. The only enemy that you can protect is your mind and your heart. Protect it from the enemy. Those are the only places that you can protect yourself from your enemies. Your mind and your heart. Your mind and your heart. Those are the only two. Only two that you have full control of. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. On that note, family. Woo! I hope y'all enjoyed what I said. If I offended anybody from the heart, I didn't mean to offend you. If I hurt anybody from the heart, I didn't mean to hurt you in any way. I just came to break down November from my perspective because I could not sleep last night unless I wrote it down. I could not sleep. I wrote it down on paper. I always have paper and pad and everything next to me, a bunch of pens and everything. I wrote it down because I had something to share. I have something to say. And because I'm a numerovator, I want everybody to rise to their highest. That is my premise for doing what I do, to rise to their highest. To rise to their highest. Those who want that ARP special, that ARP special, you gotta send. If you want that ARP special, ARP is people born from 45 and up, 45 years old and up. ARP or potential ARP members, I'm doing a special between November 1st and November 3rd. That means it's only 10 minutes. It could be pre-recorded, it could be live, but believe me, the phone call ends in 10 minutes. So you better be pointed at what you want to get out of this 10 minutes. But the phone call ends in 20. I have set up my new phone that it will cut off in 10 minutes. I ain't got no time to be playing games. Please, ARP sessions with me. If you want to do ARP sessions with me, you got to text that number on the screen. If you live in the United States, you can text that number. But if you live outside of the United States, use WhatsApp, which is the 347-496. You text only your first name and your birthday, and you pay via PayPal. I'll send you the details on how to pay via PayPal for the 10 minutes, which is only $55. I'm just doing it for November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you pay now, you'll be on the list. If you don't pay before this day is over, forget about it. I'm not doing it on that November. I'm not going to take any more payments until 12 midnight tonight. It's over. 12 midnight tonight is over, because then I got to focus on people for November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Those are the only days that I'm doing it. November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for those people 45 years and up. I'm doing focus sessions. Focused. I want people to focus. So you better have your questions. Can you have 2 questions, 1 or 2 or 3 questions? If you just want the pre-recording, just send me 3 questions, and I will send you the the pre-recording to you as I break down answering your question, and also what your first name and your birthday entails and what you need to do moving forward in your life, especially older people, because some of the older people out there are a little lost. Some of the older people don't know what's next. I don't care if you're 65 to 165. Some of y'all are lost. Well, I don't know anybody born 165 years old. But remember, there are successful people that are up there in age. The guy who founded Kentucky Fried Chicken didn't get his success until he was in his mid-60s. So there's no real excuse unless you have mental problems or you have a physical problem that's been knocking. If you got physical problems and you know you can't even move from your bed and you don't feel, even if you do have that, do you know you still have a story to tell? Even if you wrote your book and be satisfied with that and leave that as a legacy. That's why I love when Brother Rich promote his mother's books. Although his mother transitioned years ago, his sister and Brother Rich decided to finish off her work and publish it. So even if you know you're not going to be here that long, or you know you're too old, you can't move, ask somebody to record your story and tell your story, your family, your friend, your grandchildren. Record. I recorded my grandfather, and I'm about to transcribe a lot what he said, but I'm trying to find the direct recording I had with him. I can't find that for some reason. It's in my archive somewhere, but I know I taped my grandfather, and he broke down certain things about Jamaica from 1909, because he was born 1909. From that time, from those times when he got to know himself, he broke down a lot of stuff. So I want to transcribe it for my family to listen to. So if you have elderly in your family, don't let them leave this planet without sharing their gifts with you. And even sometimes when they're going through dementia or memory loss, they throw out some knowledge that be crazy, but they went through it. They went through it. They went through it. Again, you got to text. If you're 45 and older, text that number on the screen. If you live outside of the United States, use the WhatsApp number. But if you live in the United States, send it to 718-210-8853. If you live outside of the United States, like Canada and England and all those places, you send it via WhatsApp at 347 or Signal. Also, I use Signal also. Let me put Signal up there. Signal, WhatsApp, and Signal. So you can send it via Signal also. That's another app, different from WhatsApp, but because of certain people's policies, because of WhatsApp policies, a lot of people don't want to use WhatsApp. So if you don't want to use WhatsApp, at least Signal is a good app to use. Hold on. So this is the last day. I'm not taking any more people for the ARP. You can, if you don't want to, if you can't make this for this last day, then what you do, you can text me and book a session with me by texting me at that number, 347-496-1022. That's where you send your full, complete name. And then you will pay for the 30 minutes. Sometimes I go over with people 30-minute sessions. That's for the 30-minute session. That's the full session. If you just want that ARP special, and I got to big up again TK Kirkland. TK Kirkland is the one that that really pushed me to give that ARP session. If you want to do an ARP session with me, if you want to do an ARP session with me via you gotta text me text ARP specials, $55. ARP specials only $55. Yeah, for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I'm not doing nothing over 10 minutes. And you better have your timer with you too, because I have a timer on my phone, and that ends. If you want it pre-recorded, it can be pre-recorded and sent to you for 10 minutes. That's probably smarter. And you just send me 3 questions you want answered within it. But 10 minutes is 10 minutes for me. I'm not going over for that. And like I said, I set my phone. They got these new apps. You can set your phone and then cut off your phone. It cuts off your phone for you. But I will not be recording the 10 minutes if you're doing it live. It's up to you to record it. I'm not recording it. You record it. But if I have to do a pre-recording, again, if I do a pre-recording, that's up to you. That you will get that pre-recording from me. It's going to be 10 minutes straight. I'm good at that. I can do it and give you pointed guidance so you can use it. Then I'll send you the recording. But if you want to do it live where you talk to me over the phone, you got to have your recorder set up. I'm not doing the recording setup for that one. That one you got to have your own recorder set up for that. And all phones have recordings nowadays. All right. All right, family. Whew, man. People don't really know that this can really burn people out. But because I love what I do, and I do this from the heart, they ain't gonna stop me from doing what I love to do. That's one thing. My mother used to say I was hard-headed because I did what I wanted to do. My mother used to say I'm hard-headed. Boy, you're hard-headed, My grandmother too. Right? You're hard-headed, But that's the Aquarian way. We're rebels. That's the misnomer of the Aquarian way. I like that energy of being a rebel. Even when I got kicked out of school, I like that energy of being a rebel. I got kicked out of school and learned more outside of school than I ever learned in school. And I'm not telling those that need education, and I'm not telling you that I had to go take GED and all that. But if you feel you're wasting time in school, I'm talking to your young people. If you feel you're wasting time in school and you could be successful outside of that school, go take the GED and get out of there. Go get out of there and go form your business, build your thing, and do it. Because there's many successful people that did not finish school, and they're multimillionaires or multi-thousand-years right now. They didn't finish school. But if you are into school and you need to be sociable and all that kind of stuff, then go ahead, do school. But always be willing to unlearn so you can relearn. So I'm so happy that I got the basics of school all the way to high school, but I was willing to unlearn the madness that they was teaching me so I can relearn, so I can accept the information that's coming and be the sponge that I am today. I'm a sponge still. To this day, I'm still a sponge. I love, and I'm able to rinse my sponge out and be ready for some more. Try it out and then be ready for more. Put it in my database, my spiritual database, so when it's time, I can download and upload and grab it from here and grab it from that Akashic record and grab it from that record and that's what that's all about. So I'm having fun. I don't know about y'all. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And if you're not having fun doing what you love to do, then you're doing something wrong. If you're not having fun and what you love to do, you're doing something wrong. If you're not having fun doing what you love to do, you're doing something wrong. I'm born under the frequency of, look up Rick James' birthday or look up Langston Hughes' birthday. I'm born the same day as Rick James, Langston Hughes, Dennis Brown, Lisa Presley. Look up that birthday. Now, then you'll find. I like people to research. Go ahead, research yourself. Go ahead, research. Go study. Rick James, Langston Hughes, Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. I'm born the same day as Brandon Lee also. Big up to him. All right. So family, I'm getting ready to get on out of here. Instagram. Big up to y'all, man. Big up to Instagram. Big up to Twitter. Big up to people that hit me up on Facebook. People that's hitting up on my 2 channels. And also join me on Patreon. I put up a lot of good content on Patreon. I'm going to be putting up a lot of exclusive content on Patreon. A lot of stuff is going to be privatized. And because, sometimes YouTube be messing up, you got to put certain things on a private page. So here's my Patreon page right here. It's patreon.com/King Simon Productions with an S at the end of production. Everybody take a snapshot of that. Take a snapshot of that. Take a snapshot of that. Woo! Take a snapshot of that. Patreon.com/King Simon, King Simon Productions. Patreon.com /King Simon Production. Join me on Patreon. I'm putting up some great content, putting up some old content also, because I'm privatizing a lot of that and sending it right over to Patreon and keeping it up there. Because some people, they took down a whole show with me and what's his name, Curtis Koss. They did let me know it didn't affect my channel, but they took down Curtis Koss. Y'all know Curtis Koss wrote that book, Vaccines Are Dangerous. They took down that whole interview that I did with Curtis Koss and another individual that he brought on my show years ago. That means they're scrubbing the YouTube channels to see if you're putting in information information that if the information you're putting out there is not conducive with with their agenda, they're taking it down. They're taking it down. I heard they took down Red Pill and Blue Pill's page. That's deep. And I want to bring Red Pill on to promote his event, but I know what I need to do. Every time even with Phil Valentine, we had to calm Phil Valentine down a little back in the day when we was on this YouTube, because anytime Phil came on, people will take down your page back in the day because Phil just be going in and dropping it. So we had to make sure Phil knew the languages on how to speak and say. I had to talk to him off air, and Brother Rich had to talk to him because Brother Rich got his page. When I seen Brother Rich get his page taken down by what Phil Valentine said, I said, okay, being the radio producer and television producer that I was, or on-air producer, I said, you know what? I'm going to privatize this Phil Valentine lecture, that interview that he's going to do, and then guide and then promote it and send everybody to a private page. That's how I got it. And they didn't take that down because I kept it private. It's a private. So if people come to it, that's on their own merit that they came to my page to watch Phil Valentine on a private page. And that's what I had to do. Once I seen Brother Rich get his page take down for like a week, then I said, okay, Phil is coming on. I got to make sure I navigate, because I learn from everybody. I'm studying everything. I'm watching. So on that note, family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be strong, be focused. And do remember, you can hit me up also on Linktree. If you want to get any of my books, I got 4 books out there. One is called No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important. Numerovational for mental stability. All 4 of them are very good, informative books. The promotional book, No Promotion is Bad Promotion, is really if you want to promote your business to another level from the ground up. I give you my way, my story, how I was able to do magnificent events back in New York, from SOBs to Urban Plaza, how our team was able to put this work and get sponsors and all that kind of stuff. It's in that first book. No promotion is bad promotion. All publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. You can go to my Linktree and get any of my books, and Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. On that tip, family, thank y'all very much for tuning into this special broadcast called November's Interesting Connection to 911 and 411, a numerovational perspective, because it was about motivating you with the numbers and how you can use the 911 and the 411 to support yourself. I don't care what birthday you're born under. All right. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. IG, I'm leaving you alone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all say peace and goodbye. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Let's go.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Number are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022, and get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class